Hey everyone, welcome to our the first ever Ramen Water podcast. Uh, I'm Tan. I'm the host. I and here at this podcast, we generally talk about everything low-key nerdy, from anime to video games to movies that we enjoyed watching. Um, Usually I would start off this podcast with, let's say, my favorite anime is Naruto. Um, and I'll leave it to my colleagues here to introduce themselves as well.
Yeah, and my name is Sam. Uh, like Tan said, we're here to talk more about anime. But yeah, we're just a bunch of friends that met in college, and yeah, I just want to talk about and discuss anime in more entirety. And yeah, my favorite anime is. It's a good question. Well, I like One Piece a lot recently, so I'll just say One Piece for now, and yeah, I'll leave it on to Kisla.
Hey, yeah, guys. My name is Kisley. Um, I have a lot of anime under my belt. Watched thousands of movies in seven different languages. Um, Movies is like my big hobby. I also play some video games, but not as much as these guys. Um, don't really have a favorite anime, but yeah, if you want to list off a top shonen, yeah, my favorite would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay. So the topic at hand here is God of High School. It's a recently airing anime that I think it just aired its first episode a few days ago, and we all got a chance to watch the first episode. I'm not sure. I think only Sam has read the webtoon.
No, I never read the webtoon. I
Okay,
went
so
and
so
looked
then
at
none of
other.
us have any experience with this show whatsoever. And
Heard
we've
good
all
things.
had right. We've heard good things, right? But all of us have our own like experience with anime in general. So of course, coming into the show, we have our own sort of prejudices, biases, little like tropes that we already feel like we understand. So this is going to be just our take on what we think about the show so far, just on the first episode. Just like little tidbits. I'm assuming everyone here has a chance to watch the episode. What do you guys think?
Okay, so why don't you start off since you?
Yeah, I thought overall it was a fun show, very entertaining. It had its comedic moments. The action scenes were high powered, high paced with the animation, and yeah, there wasn't. You had a lot of settings in place and character traits in place, but it wasn't much that happened in episode one. So I guess we'll learn more as we go on. What about you, Sam?
I mean, this is just an episode one, and every episode one always tries to put their best foot forward, but you can really tell. I mean, it's a mappa produced show, so you can kind of tell the production values already designed to be high. Animation style, it tries to stick to its web comic roots. But it tries to do as much as it can within the animation that it can. I thought that was really shown in their fighting scenes, which I was kind of impressed. I'm interested to see where it's going to go from here because it's already developed a lot of different threads that it's going to try to go down. But I mean, there's so much in the first episode that it doesn't really explain too much. It just kind of starts a lot of different plot points.
Yeah.
What about you, Tin?
So from how I saw it, it seemed like a very strong start for a shonen. I feel like I have a lot of thoughts on how it was shown. The right off the bat, like the premise of the show is that you're introduced to this main character. He's a male. I forgot his name. Straight up forgot his name.
Jin Mori.
Jin Mori. Jin Mori.
They
Dude's
don't
late for
emphasize it, so it's okay. They've only
right.
said it like once.
Right.
Yeah.
So
All the names were said like one time.
literally. So yeah, this main character comes in is late for something. We don't know. We assumed it was high school, but later on, it's later discovered that he's late to this tournament called the God of High School tournament, pretty much, where it's supposed to determine who is the physically, I guess not like just like the strongest martial artist in a high school league, from what I saw. and the setting is somewhere in South Korea, which I find
It's in
surprising since
Seoul right
everyone is
now.
speaking Japanese. Like that's kind of weird, but I just sort of lay that aside. Um, but yeah, I felt like watching that reminded me of simpler older anime where like they had one premise where it was just like, oh, this is the tournament arc, but like that's like our entire show. Like we're gonna keep doing tournament arcs over and over and over again, right? So it reminds me of like like a sports anime, but
Like Megalobox did this recently.
right, but like currently there's no character development yet because it's just the first episode. Like and you can't really do much character development with just um, with a lot of flashy scenes of characters being really strong and powerful, right? So
Especially when you throw like 10 characters all at once just right in front of you.
right, just duking it out on the spot. Um,
Yep.
I, I felt like it was really it was really fun to watch, but overall it was definitely not what I was expecting. Since I usually expect, oh, okay, this is gonna be a slow start. Usually with shonen anime, it's usually a slow start, where it shows maybe one or two prominent characters, and it distinguishes it shows those characters' backstories to a certain extent, so we can relate to the characters more. But in this show, it was just like 10 characters, boom. This person, this person, this person. She wields a sword. He kicks a lot. He's super strong for no freaking reason. Like it, and you just don't
The
know
guy
what's
has a
going on,
book and he's got like a baseball bat.
right? Like just a bunch of things just happen at once, and I'm like, well,
I
that
mean, you did get a little bit with Jin Mori, like right at the beginning, where you see his
Right.
grandfather, and then
He's
he's like,
sad.
he's really sad, and he wants to do something, but they don't embellish anything of like what he's going to do. And I'm sure
right.
they'll definitely talk about it because
Hmm.
the dude has a giant poster on his wall that's him and his grandpa. So, I mean, it's got to be
And that
something.
seems to be the only decoration he has in his house too, other than the cabinet. He sleeps on the floor.
Yeah. Well, and he lost his alarm clock to smashing it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, guess I
Yeah. So let's. Not any thoughts on that. Let's start with something more fundamental, like Tan brought up. It's got the entire setting in South Korea, and all the writing and text in the show is in Korean, except for the YouTube comments where it's like in all different languages.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Seems
that
pretty
was wild.
realistic. It seems pretty realistic because you have a guy streaming the fight in his YouTube channel, just like a Twitch stream or something. So, and this is not a Japanese anime production. It's produced by Kangao and a whole bunch of other Korean folks. So why is this? Why is this anime in Japanese? Like, what purpose does that serve? Why couldn't I have been in Korean with Mappa's animation style? Because if you look at it, it's directed by Sung Ho Park, who's obviously Korean,
Yeah.
um, produced by Crunchyroll, Kangao and the guys, and other Korean executives like Sae-Won Song and Joseph Cho. The only thing that comes into a Japanese territory would be Mappa, who animated it, and music and the screenplay, which is adapted from a
technically-
Korean manga.
Technically Crunchyroll too, though, because Crunchyroll is they produce Japanese show. Like they don't generally produce shows, or I mean, now that they are starting to reach out and branch out and license their own anime, like they do anime. They don't necessarily do other country type shows generally.
I mean,
if I'm
you
wrong.
can be an anime, but it's just the language. You could have done it in English too, because the source is Korean. You don't have to do it in
Yeah, fair enough.
Japanese, especially like because it would be a American and Korean produced anime,
Mhm.
not really
Yeah.
a Japanese produced anime.
This is true. I mean, but it is a partner, and it is, yeah, you're right. It's a partnership between Crunchyroll and the Korean website Webtoon, I think it is. Yeah,
Webtoons?
Webtoon, which
Yeah.
they show prominently in the show later in like the second half anyway. Both of them on like almost like a sports background where like
Yeah.
the person's giving an interview and it's like
was like
Crunchyroll.
it was like the sponsorship like background where like
sponsorship board.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sponsorships, they had a lot of. Korea does take a lot of like those wild sponsorships, but that's another story. But in general, I think it's just you're right. It is kind of weird that they didn't just kind of go straight with the Korean aspect, but I think it's they want to reach the broader anime audience because I mean, if this was made in Korea and was more produced for like a Korean anime, it may not have gotten as much attention as it would how it is right now.
That's
in a
true.
sense.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely true. It wants to appeal to the Japanese audience because they have the bigger animation team.
Bigger animation and bigger worldwide prominence as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Japanese, like even if it doesn't seem like it makes sense for them to speak Japanese in Korea, I can still at least suspend my belief for a second and just enjoy the show. Since like I came into the show anticipating an anime anyway, right? Like so like I would already assume Japanese is the default language, even if the setting doesn't suggest that, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I didn't watch Code Geass hoping to see people speaking English because they're in Britain,
Right.
or Britannia.
Right now. But the
Britannia.
source material is still Japanese.
Fair enough, fair
Yeah.
enough. But like, you're right. It is a little bit. I mean, not jarring, but I guess it could be jarring where it's like, yeah, we're going to the Seoul arena, speaking completely in Japanese, and it's. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to see that. I mean, I almost think it's a takeaway that. Do you think anime is getting less? Like they have to reach out to, like Korean webcomics to find new material to go into.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's a good question to ask because nowadays, like, I feel like anime seems to enjoy this idea of playing, like playing on tropes, right? And like the joke is always to exploit the trope and then make fun of you exploiting the joke. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like at some point, I don't know if you guys feel the same, or maybe if I just watched way too much anime, so I'm just like noticing patterns. But it's like I always feel like the same premises always happen in different shades and different colors, right? Like especially with
Just look at
shonen,
Isekai.
right? Like the isekai like trope is just overdone. I feel so. I feel so. What do you guys feel about maybe like God of High School and maybe like Tower of God, right? Having this be sort of like the first steps for Japanese animation to take storytelling from different perspectives other than the Japanese perspective.
And it's done before, or they can take a different source material. Like Les Mis had an anime,
It did.
which was pretty good. Yes, Les Mis had an anime.
I did not know that.
And they made Romeo and Juliet the anime as well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they have a lot of like Conan Doyle sources, Agatha Christie sources anime too.
But this is a little bit different. This is actually
Right.
instead of adapting this to an anime as like in it's still a Japanese lens being portrayed over an overall story. Almost just like how like Walt Disney takes all those stories and makes them children's stories when Disney stories in general are more horrific, and if you know the story behind them. But
Right.
this is a little bit different when you're directly adapting a story from straight up Korea. Like it's not like it is a straight adaptation. It uses the same animation style, uses the same kind of drawing style as well, where it's just all entirely based off this Korean story.
Okay, but yeah, let's talk about it a little then. So we're talking about tropes. The biggest trope that seems to be in this anime is if you win, you get any wish granted. Like that's been done a lot in anime. Fate, Akuma no Riddle, Tower of God, I think.
Yeah, Tower of God.
Yeah.
That's what we heard at least. None of us watched it.
Juni Tyson.
It's funny that
Yeah.
this big partnership between Crunchyroll and Webtoon has been two shows that have God in the title and are all about getting your wish granted. But still.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it also seems a little like so Akame ga Kill, their wish the wish they did was it has to be possible to do it. It's not magic. We don't know what this wish can be. Not Akuma no Riddle. I said the wrong name. So what is going on in the show? Because so if you look at the fight scene, right before they enter the tournament, they already set some very unrealistic expectations. They go, "We have injected all you guys with nanotech that is in your blood to monitor your vitals, and you have HP based on your vitals, and you can see each other's level based on how strong you are." I mean, and they also said, "We can cure if you get injured." So,
I mean, go a step further though. Like you go even further back to the beginning, even before you see the main characters. A guy flattens a island with his hand by setting his hand down on his desk, and it flattens an island. Like
right. So there is a bigger picture. So that was the technological aspect, but there's obviously a bigger picture going on.
Yeah.
Like it could be mythical. Like none of us have read the webtoons, so we don't know the full synopsis, and we don't know what we're in for. That's why this coalition of us three works, because we haven't read it, so we don't have any biases against.
Oh no, we're going in blind.
We're going in blind. Yeah, we're going in full blind.
What do you think, Tan?
I feel like I gotta take a step back to process, because it's like I feel like the shows like these always try to quantify the capabilities of the characters, right, into some sort of unit. And if it's not like a unit, then it's a magic unit. You know, like either we can science it to the T, or it's magic. It just happens. And I feel like to this degree, like they try to science it just enough to say, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, like whatever, right? Like as opposed to like, oh wait, how does that actually work? Like if you can cure anything, any physical injury, then like are hospitals necessary? You know, like you know, like I just feel like they explain just enough, just for the audience to suspend their belief.
The quantifying of numbers, I was really happy that when they started quantifying, and I was like, oh, they're going to do power levels, almost like what ruined like a Nanatsu no Taizai. But then they instantly are like, okay, all the weaklings are level 5, and then they don't say anything about any of the major characters. They just show the major characters wiping out mobs of just these level 5, level 6 people. And like you see the level 6 people are like, I'm a higher level, I can beat these people up. But they don't even like show what their reaction would be if they walked up to one of the big kahunas, I guess.
Yeah, and we have like a few characters set. Obviously, the three main characters: the guy with the reading the book with the baseball bat in his jumpsuit. Then there's the girl who is very Americanized. I think I'm not too sure.
She was like looked wrestling-ish, like she did a wrestling move.
Yeah, and then there was one more guy,
the monk-looking dude.
Yeah, the Chinese martial artist. And then obviously this prisoner that just comes out of nowhere with his hand strapped.
Yeah. I think the show's going to obviously focus on the three main characters it really laid out, which is, Jin Mori, Hyundai, and Yumira.
Whatever.
Hey, he called himself Hyundai. Like,
he says my name is Han Due.
But I guess going back to kind of what happened in the show, like we talked about a little bit of the tournament, we talked a little bit about the beginning, but like I heard you had an opinion, Kisla. You weren't a huge fan of that kind of 5-minute motorcycle sequence that they had compared to other parts of the show.
Yeah, so I watched that scene when they released that teaser on Crunchyroll, and it was that definitely was not part of a big part of the show, because that was very silly when they released it. I was like, oh, it's going to be a silly anime, and then the anime starts off with like corruption and politics. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So, and when it transitions to that scene in the show, it makes much more sense that he's going to a tournament, he's running late, and in that part he is a good guy because he wants to save this old lady's purse, because she thinks she's gonna have to give up some fortunes to save her
I love
daughter or
that. I love
something.
that inner monologue though. That was so like
Right.
in the back
And
of
the
his
girl
mind,
just
just
goes
like
along with it.
Oh, and I
Yeah,
guess
that scene was crazy, but then you realize it sets up the introduction and the friendship between the three characters, and who knows how this battle royale is actually gonna play out? Because is it down to one person? Like, what's gonna happen here? Who will? Like, are they gonna select a group? Because this is the preliminary, and they called it the second preliminary, and there's regionals happening all over Korea. So what's going on over there, and what's the difference over here? It's not bracket style. Even the audience was surprised it wasn't bracket style. So how many people are gonna go to the next level? And we'll see.
yeah.
Because the show ended on a cliffhanger.
we just have to wait next week, pretty much. But
Yeah.
I feel like they have to at least like do 5. I don't know why. Like I just feel like the 3 main characters plus the dude from prison and probably a random black horse out of nowhere, dark horse. Like
And so you already have like 3 characters other than those 4 defined. You have the guy in the jumpsuit, the girl with the wrestling moves, and the martial artist.
And the guy that came up and like took the what's his name, Mira's sword fighting, like she just like he took it in the neck and just like bounced it off, whatever
Yeah,
that guy was.
that's the guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, there, that's the prison guy. That's who he ends up fighting. And the other thing we gotta understand is they already hinted that 2 people, the two of the 3 main characters, are kind of under leveled right now because she's going in like half blind. She doesn't have her glasses. The guy is starving.
right.
Yeah.
And the third guy actually, he just got off a night shift, so he's lacking sleep. All 3 of them are underpowered at the moment. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what like
Like they're all nerfed to some degree.
yeah.
I am interested. I mean, I'm just interested to see like all these little threads that they throw out, like, and most of them are with Jin Mori, but it's like you have the grandfather that they throw out, but then they had that
the
one
blind
guy.
guy. He has to fight him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm
gonna
only
fight
here
him
to
again."
fight that guy. Like, so, but speaking of the main characters, Tam, what were your thoughts on? I don't know, take any of them. Jin, Hyundai, Yumira. Got any thoughts on any of the specific characters you want to talk about?
I feel like Jin looks like Tai from Digimon, and Ymira looks like Sora from Digimon. It's like the facelift, copy and paste. That's what I feel like. Because it's like even like the way they structure their hair, I think it's what's really iconic. Maybe not like the girl, not so much, right? With the glasses and everything. But I feel like at least when I saw the anime poster that they were putting up, like to promote the anime, I thought for like a split second they were doing another Digimon rehash, right? And then it said God of High School. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, Tai grew up. This isn't canon. I don't remember this. Like, I kind of found it strange that their designs were very similar, but I guess that's fine, right? I can suspend my belief on that. Like, what did you guys think?
Well, yeah, the character.
Yes.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah.
The character design isn't that unique.
No,
Well, actually, a lot of part of the shows aren't unique at all. Like you have,
I mean,
like, you have the PUBG Battle Royale, which is also Korean.
Right. I feel like what kind of bets do we want to place that the main character is gonna be always hungry and stupid but strong as hell, and the main character girl is gonna be really tactical, kind of strong but not as strong as the main character guy, and then the big dude is gonna be super quiet, but like you don't mess with him until like he whips out some kind of like some sort of pistol or something, or like maybe not even a pistol, just like get strong all of a sudden because you're messing with his friends, like I feel like I'm seeing that, like I feel like the big dude is gonna be main character's best friend, like Chad level, like from Bleach.
From Ichigo.
Chad. Yep, that's exactly what I'm feeling, man. The girl doesn't feel like she's gonna be Orihime. She feels more like a Rukia. Like
she feels like Misty. honestly, I got Misty, and that's because he hits her with his bike and smashes her glasses, and now she's gonna be hounding him for glasses repayment for the whole show.
Right, literally, bro. I can see it. I can see it. I'm just like, I shouldn't be. I feel like as people who watch the show, we shouldn't be able to like see those things, like see like, oh, okay, well, this is probably where it's going, and then be right. Right, I feel like I feel like the show needs to spice it up like real quick, because right now like I'm feeling it feels hella predictable, and I don't know if I like that.
And it's funny because how we started talking about this too was that like, oh, is anime jumping to Korean webcomics to try to get some new blood or new energy, but is it almost like they're going to the Korean webcomics to get a fan base for a show rather than trying to grab some obscure anime that could be more interesting?
Right, right.
Like,
yeah, there's
and it's
definitely
like
better manga.
And almost feels like not that it's a bad show. It obviously put its best foot forward to start, but is this almost like a cash grab where you could have grabbed something that might have been better? Where this is just you're right, a lot of generic tropes. We can see a lot of generic tropes starting here, and yeah, maybe it's picked and chosen from different animes, but like a lot of generic pieces of the puzzle here.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know where to go from here, because it really is only just the first episode, right? So like it can go like left field and become political hella quick, and we've seen shows that do that too, but it's just like right now it's the first episode, and from what I've seen from the first episode, it sounds like a typical shonen, and it's looking like a typical direction towards a tournament arc. Yep.
But I still see some better than my hero. I still see some godly, like unearthly stuff going on, like what happened at the very beginning.
Right, like some right,
supernatural.
Some hocus pocus magic tricks going on, right? Like,
yeah. So there's definitely another realm to be explored. I'm not too sure. Maybe they are demons. Maybe there are other stuff. Maybe someone's contracted some superpowers.
And it is the god of high schools. Will it have any divine faction showing up, or is that just more of a god thrown around haphazardly?
It seems pretty haphazardly, because this isn't the first tournament. Because they said there are tournament regulars. So the reason why this specific year of this tournament decided to become a show is there's probably more at work. That's why the show is made, because it's not going to be like the rest of the years of the tournament.
Or it could be exactly like every other show, so they know it's going to be successful. Because just like with this tournament arc, it feels like the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. You know, like the like from Dragon Ball, where like it was just a bunch of martial artists, right? And the whole power level thing was, it's just martial arts. Everyone from around the world, the strongest fighters, all getting together to see who's the strongest, right? And then we have like power level creep to the friggin' max with Piccolo coming into the tournament, and then Goku upping his game because Piccolo's too damn strong as the Demon King or whatever. And I just feel like we're gonna start off with like superhuman level strength, because it looks like everyone has some superhuman level strength at this point, and then we're introduced to the guy with the Buddha palm slap on the island, and we're like, okay, there's like literally there has to be magic at this point, or it's something completely different, because I feel like there's no way to explain that as something's akin to like a chakra level system or a nen kind of system, where or like from Hunter x Hunter, from Naruto, where it's like, this is just your life force, you just using your life force to amplify your moves. This just seems almost like magic at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It has to be magic or godly. Like, you don't just they literally show it. He sets his hand down and flattens an eye like that. That's not just like amplifying power. That is something. Something's going on.
Show as hell could be a quirk though.
Could be a quirk.
Could be a quirk.
I
hope not. Right? No. I really hope not.
Give me away from My Hero Academia. I don't need another one of those.
Yep.
But I will say I did like that you brought up Tan earlier, like these more stupid anime protagonists, the Naruto, the Luffy, kind of just haphazardly running in. At least it showed a little bit of more martial artists, like more expertise, where it's like they showed that he deflects the kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He fights with a purpose, and they only showed him fight one legitimate person.
Right.
But while he's doing things, it's like he's observant. You can tell even when he's doing that the motorcycle chase scene. It's like everything he does, like it seems stupid, but it's very calculated. His bike is always moving. He's always observing what's going on next, and that's how he deflected that guy's kick. Like, where it should not have been able to be.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He's
I am interested.
Yeah.
Oh, Kissler, you're gonna say something?
He seems calculated.
Yeah.
He doesn't look stupid like a Luffy level stupid. Like he's just not. He's not. It doesn't give off that vibe that he's that silly. Because everything Sam said. Yeah. He woke up late. Yep. But he didn't have bread in his mouth. So.
Well, I feel like I feel like you can be a stupid character, but still have like the fighting instincts to be able to fight calculatively, like in combat. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. But he didn't feel like that because when he talked to the big dude who finished the biker off, he was like, my name's this, and they both fist bumped. He didn't do anything silly. Like, imagine Naruto would do a trip,
right?
Like, he gives off more like Edward Elric vibe.
Oh, a what vibe?
Edward Elric.
Edward Elric. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like he's funny, but he's still like more of a serious type of person.
Right.
That's what I see from him. But
yeah,
he's
I can see that.
monotone. I really hate monotone characters or edgy characters. And none of the characters
like, edgy for no reason.
Yeah, edgy for no reason.
Or like edgy for like a bad reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a very dullness. I mean, not dull in a bad way, but like no edginess from any of the characters. Maybe except for the Mr. Park guy who flattened the island. He seems a little bit like maniacal and like
yeah, maniacal is fine though.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
go ahead.
Did you see all those 10 years of motorcycle moves I developed?
What threw me off was this dude was keeping up with a motorbike, right? But I was just like, suspend my belief. He can pedal that good because he is going to the God of High School tournament. Got it, right? You know, like, okay. The cadence is insane. Got it. But yeah, actually, another thing that really surprised me about the show was the choreography and how they really drew every single movement, every single frame, right? Because I feel like with a lot of shows feel like they take shortcuts where like they because it's like maybe a lot of magic attacks or whatever. You see a lot of like, I'm just gonna swing a thing, and then you'll see the after effect or the shock, right? Whereas like I remember I liked this a lot about like OG Naruto, where like they had a lot of hand to hand combat, and you can see when clever moves were being played, and it was almost reminiscent of watching like a really good like martial arts movie, where you see every point of contact hit, right, and every hit that was vital be really vital. And you can hear it, you can feel it. I liked that this show did that, like from the start. Like it was like, this is the establishing episode. Let's go all out and show them that this is a show where people actually fight, and this ain't just Boruto or this ain't just My Hero Academia. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And this is actually a very good trade that the animation studio Mappa does all the time. You see it in Garo, where they have that first episode. If you watch the latest season of Garo, that first episode so beautifully animated, and it's done before Zanki no Terror and a few other anime. Like first episode is action packed, and they show off their skills.
I mean, or you can even just kind of see how Mappa. You can get a direct comparison of Mappa versus other studio when you look at One Punch Man season 1 to season 2. just true quality, and they take their time.
Madhouse,
that was Madhouse. They come from the same area, right? You said
Yeah,
they broke off
Mappa
from
is
each other.
Mappa is a break off of Madhouse.
Yeah,
Similar people.
Mhm.
fair enough. But yeah, I think a lot of things to get taken away, but I think in general, there's not too much more to probably talk about in terms of this first episode
Mhm.
without seeing what's going on afterwards. Because I think, like I said before, it's a lot of threads, but nothing really stitched together yet
Right.
until we get to
Yeah.
episode 2, 5, 8, wherever it's going.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So I
I
guess
Yeah, obviously we'll be back next week.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, obviously. I guess the last thing to touch on would be, since it's first episode, opening and ending.
Yeah, the opening song, EDM, like
Dubstep.
a lot of auto-tune, dubstep. Yeah.
Mhm.
It did stand out. Like it didn't get catchy in my eyes, like or my ears rather.
Mhm.
The animation was obviously cool because again, Mappa, their opening songs are always so well animated. Every moving scene, it's the animation is amazing, but the song itself, maybe it's just not my type of music. But I like other dubstep. But yeah, this one just did not ring in my ear. Maybe it might if I listen to it enough. What about you guys?
What do you think, Tan?
I felt like the opening was a banger. The ending was a pretty chill ending. I don't have much to say about them because it was like either I was shaking my head or I wasn't, right? And there wasn't much to it, like you know, like that's just my opinion on the opening ending though. Like it was like it wasn't sticking enough for me to be like, oh, this is a banger. You know, like I remember with Fire Force, its opening was so good. Like I was listening to it for like weeks. Like it was just popping, right? But with
Yeah, it was.
right, so this show that opening didn't feel like that, but like it was good enough. Like I wasn't like cringing on it or anything, you know. So it was like it did its job. It's an opener, right? Like I didn't get any spoilers, or at least I don't think I got any spoilers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the jury's out. And my biggest question, so you mentioned spoilers and not getting any. What I'm curious about is they actually frame by frame took every single fight and then shortened it down a little bit for each like major character. And I wonder, is that just what they're going to do in this first episode and that's what the opening is? Or are they actually going to show something each episode in their opening? That's where I thought, that's my biggest question with these openings is like, they can go one way or the other, but I mean, they kind of revealed the fight right away. Right. I didn't realize that it was literally like frame by frame until I went back and looked at it. But it's literally the same exact fights. Just,
really?
You know, it's just colored up in neon, but it's literally the same exact fight scenes from when they're in the arena.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that.
Generic fight.
It's true. I'm just
style stuff. Yeah,
it's
but
true.
yeah, you're right.
But I'm just curious, are they going to keep doing that where they show stuff? Because, I mean, this wouldn't be the first anime to, you know, show stuff from the show going on in the opening for each episode. But it would be kind of interesting, like, what all do they want to show in an opening?
Yeah, what about the ending?
It was chill and a lot of still shots, which it was nothing out of the ordinary. Honestly, the opening and ending really reminded me a lot of like a Kuroko no Basket opening ending combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much to say about the ending. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's chill. I get.
Okay. So guys, closing remarks from everyone.
This show can go one way or the other. I mean, I think it started out strong, especially with a lot of the things that it did with animation, but it has to kind of, I think as we discussed, it's got to diversify a little bit before it can kind of break out from being just sort of generic run-of-the-mill shonen, in my opinion. So I'm excited, but tepidly excited.
And yeah, I agree with you 100%. It needs to do a little bit more. The tournaments hopefully get more unique, and I hope by episode 2 we get more into like what is going on, like how is this tournament going to be shaped. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to, because this specific preliminary is battle royale, but and every other are not. So what's going to happen after this? Do we get more characters, or are these characters going to stand out more than the other? This is the big spot, like in My Hero Academia.
See, but like
that one school is
the battle royale thing has been used though. Like it's been used. Like you've seen it in Hunter x Hunter. We've seen it in Hero Academia. It's like there's too many contestants.
Most of the time, like My Hero Academia was like slightly better at doing it, but like say like One Piece or what happened to Hunter x Hunter? I forgot.
Hunter x Hunter, I think when Kyo was going for his Hunter license exam the second time, they were like, okay, there's too many people. Go ahead and like steal 3 tags or from other people.
Okay,
right?
So yeah, the tag system. But over here, they haven't defined what makes you a winner.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because in every other show, they've defined the winner. One Piece, only one person goes.
Right.
And
oh, and I think in the Naruto for the Chunin exams, the Forest of Death, that's technically a battle royale.
Yeah, but they have a destination they have to reach, so there's still a goal there.
Mm-hmm.
And they define it at the beginning. There's like no define. They're like, yep, fight. Actually, they didn't even say fight. They said this.
Your thing begins
fight
now.
Has started.
Right.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, what, are we supposed to fight? And then audience goes, battle royale, battle royale, battle royale, and then battle royale. They start attacking each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just a lot. Next time we should meet at Moonbucks Coffee, which I thought was a hilarious Starbucks knockoff in this show.
Moonbucks Coffee.
Moonbucks Coffee.
I saw that. I'm like, y'all could get Crunchyroll and Webtoons. Y'all couldn't get Starbucks though. That's a no-no.
Coffee to sit with all your kids, all your female friends, and watch the local Twitch stream of the fight.
Yep, because that's somehow normal. Is that normal in Korea? I don't know.
I mean, esports are huge there. So
right,
maybe
esports are huge there. Like, so I don't know what's considered normal over there or not. Like, if like watching like a Twitch stream of League or something and a Starbucks is normal or not. Like, I don't know.
Seems normal to me. You can do it anywhere.
Right.
So, I think that's enough closing remarks. I guess from rainy Wisconsin. I hope to see you all next week.
Yeah.
From Florida, I hope to see you guys next week as well. And I hope you like our name, Ramen Water.
Ramen Water. It rained a lot on the inaugural Ramen Water podcast day.
It did.
I didn't get any rain. I just get thunder.
I got like sun showers. But yeah, hailing from the center of America, St. Louis. Literally, we'll catch you guys next week. You can catch us. I think Tuesdays. What is today? Tuesday. Tuesdays.
Yeah, we'll do Tuesdays.
Yeah, we'll upload this on a Tuesday. And try to get it out there. Every Tuesday. But you can catch us around that time. As the Ramen Water podcast. We'll put it up on YouTube. We'll try to put it up on Spotify. TuneIn. I think TuneIn has a podcast spot. We'll try to put it on SoundCloud if possible. And literally just get it out there because this is just a small project that the 3 of us are doing. If you enjoy what you're listening to, or if this somehow is thought provoking for you, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us, understand that there is an audience out there for us that are interested in our thoughts and opinions on shows and just overall just nerdy stuff, Yeah. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.